As a continuation of previous video. So we're going to see the final steps in this specific uh, deployment using Terraform for Node Lambda, AWS Lambda function as an exposing the API gateway REST APIs. So as we configure the deployment method, API gateway method and integration and then deployment, we have to configure. So on the testing stage, we are going to configure that. So once we do that, we have to have the API gateway permissions to be added here. So you have to go to the API gateway.tf file, wherein you are specifying the Lambda permissions for the API gateway to invoke the Lambda functions. So the action is going to be Lambda invoke function, and the statement ID is going to be allow API gateway invoke. And the function name which we are going to target here is this Node.js function, and for Python it's going to be the API gateway 1, and then function is going to be the Python function. So once we do this permissions, and then we have to expose the URLs, the base URLs to invoke the API gateway. So we have to have the API gateway deployment, and then the name of the deployment, and then invocation URL, invoke URL. Same way for the Python also. So we had to expose these two here. So once we expose these two, so we are going to run the apply. So we have to have the Terraform apply here. So wherein we have to pass on the variables here. So the variable is going to be the app version 1.0.0, which has been mentioned here. If we go to this, and then it has been declared here as a variable app version, and every function Node.js or Python, you will have the version number as part of the S3 bucket, S3 object key. So the S3 object key will be the version number, and then the zip file name. So this is what we have been uploading here, the version number and then the zip file name. So every time we make a changes on this samples, on this function, Python function or Node.js function, we are going to increment this version number with different numbers like v 1.0.1, 1.0.2, or 1.2, something like that. We are going to increment, and that will be getting stored as a key in the S3 bucket for the specific object. This is for the Node.js, and for the Python, it's going to be in the sample python.zip file. So the version number is going to change for both. Okay, so when you change it, you're going to change for both. So this can be an individual also. So we can specify the individual variables here as we can say this Python app version, and then uh, Node.js app version, and then we can deploy that also. That's also possible. So that's why we are going to mention that app version as 1.0.0, and then we are putting auto approve in order to make sure that we are not going to do check everything and then once again approve for the apply, because we can do a Terraform plan before upfront, and then we can see what are the resources getting created. So that can be done using Terraform plan. When you put a Terraform plan, it'll go and check for the version number, I mean 0.0. So we'll put this and version number, and then it'll show what are the resources that are getting created here. So these are the versions, resources getting created for this specific Terraform apply, Terraform plan. So Terraform plan will give this. Then once we do that, we can just do a Terraform apply with auto approve, because we're passing the version, I mean variable, app version as a variable. So we're going to apply now. So once we apply this, all the resources will be getting created in the AWS console. We can look at that. Okay, so these are the two URLs of the APIs, which is exposed as an output here. So when you go there, these are the base URL2 that has been exposed as an output uh, of this Terraform apply. And there are 19 resources are getting created, added. And then when we go into this API gateway, these are the APIs that are getting created. And if you go to the Lambda in the AWS console, we can see those two functions here. These are the functions that are getting created, Node.js and Python. This is the runtime. So that's about it. So let's check the let's test it whether the specific function is working or not. Invocation through the API gateway. So this is the API gateway URL for the Node.js function, and then we're going to invoke that so that it invokes there and gets back. Yes, it works fine. And then we're going to invoke another URL for the Python function which we deploy, and then that's going to be invoked and get the result back here. So that's about these two functions, and we can always check this function whether it is returning the right string using this. This is a Python function returns this hello from Lambda. So that's about it. So once you do that, it's satisfied and you're using it, you want to destroy this and then apply it for different environment. We can change always the stage. You always check the stage here. We go to the stage where the API gateway. You go to the API gateway. You can see the stages here. Stages, yeah. See this test stage test. So this is a stage test. So wherein we have this post and then we have this URL. Since you click the URL, it goes to this. So that's about it. And then we can set different stages also. So we can migrate this to next stage. So for that, we're going to destroy this specific set of functions. So we have tested it. It works fine. We're going to destroy this in this stage, and then we're going to move this to the next stage. So for this, we're going to do the Terraform destroy. You can also do an auto approve here so that you don't ask. We can just do the Terraform auto approve, destroy auto approve. It destroys 19 resources. Everything is done. So we have to verify that. If you want to verify, you can go here and check. There is no APIs here. And then if you go to the Lambda console, and that's going to be not there. But if you go to the S3 bucket, which we had done manually, so you can see the S3 bucket there. So you see this random bucket. This is the S3 bucket. So inside the bucket, you have two different versions. Okay, if you go to the 1.1.0, there are two different zip files. These are the zip files for the functions to be invoked or added here. So that's about it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.